And welcome to another edition of ProtoMet's First Impressions, where I give my thoughts on the first episode of any new tokusatsu show. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the first episode of the Chinese tokusatsu show, Armor Hero Star Rail. Or, I guess it's more accurate to say I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the first half of the first episode of Star Rail. Because apparently, the company behind it decided to split the episodes into half and air them across multiple days. At least that's how I'm understanding it. So, this first episode feels a bit truncated. It starts off with, I assume, a bad guy or something talking about dark energy, and I guess they're trying to make the universe or the galaxy evil with dark energy. Something about monsters called Dementors. That's T-E-R, not T-O-R, not to be confused with the Harry Potter creatures. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I honestly couldn't really remember much about this episode beyond some early stuff and the fight scene that occurs. And so I actually had to rewatch this episode. The first monster we see is a guy who looks more like a zombie, goes into a convenience store and just gorges himself without paying for anything. And then there's like a CGI overlay of a sort of boar monster that I guess is his monster form. But we don't really get much of a resolution with that, because then it cuts to another rhinoceros monster attacking some workers at a place. And then he has to fight the first armor hero to show up in this series, Armor Hero Ray Vortex. I think I'm remembering that right. He got the green and white colors. Because, okay, I don't know a lot about this show. Did I even watch it? It's a fine fight scene. It does utilize quite a bit of obvious CGI, especially when they kind of teleport to another location to continue the fight, at which point the rhino guy turns giant and is at this point completely CGI. Although I will give them some credit that they do give some actual facial expression and like eye movements, so I actually thought that was fine, provided that that's not using generative AI, because this show, I have read that it does use some generative AI, though though from what I understand, it's mostly just for the opening theme song and the device voices or whatever. I'm hoping that that's a limit to it, because I am kind of I'm not a huge fan of generative AI being used in place of actual people. That's not my thing. I know that it is a concern, especially in the artistic community. But yeah. So ultimately, Ray Vortex wins and recruits the rhinoceros to fight for him, because apparently that's what they're doing. They're fighting the monsters to turn them into allies. I assume to use as, like, abilities for their henshin belts or whatever. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, it does kind of remind me of Kamen Rider Gotchard, which did recently finish. But I did read that there's more of like a Chinese zodiac sort of theme to this series, so they're not quite going for the same gimmick that Gotchard did. Although they do still turn into cards. Anyway, the rest of the episode just has a number of characters. Some girl typing away at a computer, looking up information. I assume she's in like the command center for the good guys or whatever. There's a character that's doing a rideshare service or taxi or whatever, and he's probably the most developed character so far because they give a bit of focus to him. I think we get a glimpse at some other characters. Some lady who I think she's a delivery person. I think there's a guy in like a fancy sports car. I really the episode, like, I really only remembered like about 2/3 of this episode, and it's not super impressive so far. Again, this is technically just half of the first episode. Eventually I'll get to see the rest of the first episode, and hopefully it picks up from there. But so far I'm not super impressed, but I'm still going to keep an eye on it. Oh, yeah, recovering from a bit of a cold. So, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, still not too sure what my thoughts are on this. I can't quite say that I'd recommend people to check it out because I'm still not even entirely sure what's all going on. It's a bit of a mystery to me, and one that I hope gets resolved sooner rather than later because it's leaving me scratching my head a little bit. But yeah, so until next time, this has been me, ProtoMet. See ya.